Okay, so this is week 9. So after this week, meaning that next week is the mid-sem break, including your Raya holiday, yeah, your Raya, Hari Raya, yeah, Aidilfitri. Okay, so week 9, and then we continue after the break, all right, or week 10. And we will continue with analysis modeling part 3. Okay, meaning that we haven't finished analysis modeling for this week. We'll continue after Raya. And after that only, I'll give you assignment 2 so that you can focus on doing the analysis and modeling, yeah? Okay, so in previous weeks, yeah, I have provided you some of the examples of the artifacts that you have to produce during analysis and modeling. So I hope that you have completed your assignment 1 so that you have got all the information, yeah, hopefully it's sufficient, yeah, information of all the requirements taken from your potential users or stakeholders, yeah. So from there only you can work on and doing major analysis process. So this today we are doing some example, yeah, of how we can do that kind of analysis. And for today we're focusing on the functions. How can we derive all the functions that being asked or requested by the user, and they mention it through maybe interview or something, yeah. And also how can we actually find out if there are any other requirements that has not been mentioned, okay, because we have to be aware that if you already watch the Kano model videos that I provided in the early weeks, can I think in week 2 or week 3, yeah, the Kano model. So the model has mentioned that there are things that will be mentioned by your users or potential your stakeholders, but there are also things that they will not say. So you have to find out yourself. But of course, after you have found them out, you have to confirm with the stakeholders. Do you really need this or not? Yeah. Because sometimes they think that you as the developer team, yeah, the requirement engine is part of the developer team. So they think that you know already what are the basic things that is supposed to be inside the app. So they just mention the things that they want to highlight. Okay, so make sure you don't miss anything, yeah. All right, so first thing first, this is example of use case diagram. So hopefully you know how to draw use case diagram, because it's actually one of the important artifact, yeah, in this requirements process. And then it will be used during analysis and also, sorry, during the software design process. So it has to be develop or build carefully, yeah, make sure you don't miss anything. Okay, but the process of drawing these artifacts and the process of getting the requirements and analyzing the all the input from the users is actually it only can stop after you decide that we already have sufficient information. Okay, if not, you have to iterate the process. Keep on looking, add more information. Okay, but be careful, don't add unnecessary information. Okay, just go on, analyze them and see whether is it enough or not enough. Do we have to ask more from the stakeholders, or we have to ask again, or we have to change the question so that we get more important information, and make sure that you don't go and get redundant information, yeah. If you know already about that, don't ask it again, yeah. Okay, so in this use case diagram, this is for the Easy Rent app. Okay, so create user account, log in. So this is something that you know already. The most important thing is you have to know the notations of the diagram. Okay, because I believe in principle you just being introduced to the diagram, but there are things that have not been highlighted. Yeah, for example here, number 1, the name inside these use cases, yeah, these oval things are called use case, yeah. So in each of these use case, yeah, the notation must be oval, and the text inside the oval thing must be verb plus noun. All right, must be verb plus noun. It can be verb plus noun plus noun. If you're using phrase noun, like for example, we have user account. So it's noun, noun, yeah? And you have to have the verb. So create user account. Okay, so you have to be very careful because sometimes some words can be verb, can be noun. So make sure when you put the text inside the use case, yeah, it has to be verb plus noun, or verb plus noun, noun, or verb plus noun, 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 noun. Okay, as long as it's a phrase noun, but it has to be started with a verb. Okay, all right, that's number one. Okay, number two, the line, yeah, that connect between the actor. So this is the actors, yeah, the people who do something with the app. Okay, this actor is connected to the use cases using a straight line, a straight solid line, no dashes, no arrows. Okay, straight line. Okay, remember that, that's the notation. And then we have a box here. So for this box, it actually indicate system or subsystem. It's a group, it actually represent a group of use cases. So in this case, it represent all function inside EasyRun app. So we put the name EasyRun app at the top. Yeah, you can also focus on certain subsystem, right? For example, if it's about purchasing or something, yeah, so it's just one part of the in the app, so you can put like purchase management subsystem, for example. So it's actually focusing on one of the part inside the app. Okay, so make sure you write the right name up here. Yeah, simply if all these use cases are actually for the app, yeah, everything is inside the app, so then just put the name of the app there. Right? Okay, next thing is for the actor. Okay, I prefer the color to be black and white, just like that. Yeah, because some of people they just love to change the colors, but I don't know why you have to change the colors. It doesn't look better. Yeah, the important thing is the information inside the diagram. Okay, but it depends on you if you like to change the color, up to you. But I prefer black and white. Okay, so for the actor, as you can see, there's one actor on the left and there's one actor on the right. Okay, so what kind of actor that we should put on the left hand side and which kind of actor that we should put on the right hand side? So left, who will be on the left? Who will be the actor? Yeah? Which actor will be on the left? You locate the actor on the left. So right here. Okay. Yeah. For example, here we have this one on the left. This is the right one. Okay. So what kind of actor that we put on the left? Why can't we put admin, this user admin, the app admin, on the left? Why I put it on the right? Hmm? Come on. What do you think? What kind of actor that we put on the... Okay, kita pergi yang kanan lah. Which kind of actor that we put on the right? Why I put admin on the right? Hmm? Come on. No, tidur. Bangun. Any idea? Anyone? There are 22 people right now. No idea? Hmm? Is it my internet not working or not? Okay, Kamal Shori said actor who are managing the app on the right hand side. Okay. All right. Good try. Okay. How can we decide which actor should be in which place, at which side. Okay, if primary actor on the right, primary actor on the right. So admin is the actor, the primary actor, is it? Okay, so one thing that you have to remember, not all app will have admin. Not all app will have admin. Okay, but if you have mobile app plus something on the website, it has connected with the web page, yeah. So they might have admin that actually manage the web page, yeah. But if you're talking about a mobile app, yeah, usually we don't have app admin. Yeah, we usually don't have app admin. So make sure that you got that right. Okay. But in this case, this is actually a web based. Yeah, this app is actually web based, not a mobile app. Okay. So how can we decide who will be on the right, who will be on the left? The left is the primary actor. Okay, the left is the primary actor. So in this case, the app user is the primary actor, not the admin. Okay, so the app user is the one, the app is built because of this app user, because they want to use the app. Okay, so they are the primary one. That's why you get all the information from that. They are the main stakeholders. Among of the main stakeholders are those potential app users. Okay, so they are the primary actors. So we put it on the left, not on the right. Yeah. Okay. So for on the left, on the right, sorry, for on the right, the app admin here. Okay. If the app is used so that the functions that provided to the admin is because they want to support the app user, the functions that the app user use, meaning that they are just supporting. Okay, so anyone who are actually on the supporting roles that have functions so that they can support the functions for the app user, then we call them supporting. Okay, supporting actors. Okay, so supporting actors will be located at the right hand side. Okay, uh, your right, yeah, not my right now. Tak tahu yang mana kiri kanan kan. Okay, so your right hand side will be the supporting, on the left hand side will be the primary actors. Okay, but there are also cases where app user are more than one type. Okay, so we have app user, maybe the one like student and parent that been using a learning app. Yeah, so student is the main app user that actually use for their learning. Okay, and parent, they are not supporting, but they also another app user, but they have different functions than the student app user. Okay, so in this case, both actors will be on the left because both are actually app users and they can be categorized into different actors because they have their own functions that they use. Yeah, for example, maybe the parents want to see the progress of his daughter, for example, so they can have a look, yeah, and view the display of the result, for example, or the test that they have that done. Okay, okay, so that one will be, both will be primary actors. They both will be on the left, on your left hand side. Okay, got that? Okay, so you have to be to check. Yeah, you have to check whether you comply with all the rules that I just mentioned just now, okay? And also the notation. Notation means symbols, the right symbol. So it has to be oval, it cannot be boxes, yeah? The line must be solid line, no arrows. So when are you going to use line with arrows? Usually when use case is connected to another use case, like include relationship or extend relationship. So at that time, then you may use the dash line with arrows, okay? Um, Okay, so when I check your answers, I'll check the notation to make sure that it's correct. If it's not correct, then I'll deduct your mark. And also another thing that I'll check is the content of the use cases, the name of the, how you name them, yeah. So there are the things that I evaluate when I assess your assignment. Okay. All right. So this is just example. Use case description. So for this requirements classes, this is very important, and you have to know what are the things that you should write inside each of the empty columns, yeah, empty spaces. So like use case ID, you have to have the use case ID, use case name, etc, etc. And the use case name here, yeah, something that you have to alert, yeah, because many people make mistakes, yeah, your seniors always make this mistake. For the use case name here, yeah, for example here, confirm house reservation. Okay, so make sure the word, the text that you write there, confirm house reservation, is something that can be found from this diagram. Yeah, for example here, do we have confirm house reservation? Yeah, we do have here. Okay, so make sure it's exactly the same text that you take from this use case diagram and transfer into this use case description. Okay, because you are describing the use cases, it has to be the same name, exactly the same name, right? So remember that. Okay, and then the rest is, for example, we have the basic steps, yeah, where you have to write the scenario, the interaction between the app and the user, what did the user do, and then what the app do. For example, when the user do something, click the button, so what will the app do? Maybe they will display something. So you have to write the steps. And for basic steps here, it has to be something um, successful. This is something about if a user gone through all this from step 1 until step 9, meaning that he or she has already completed or achieved the task of confirming house reservation. Yeah. So the step has to be clear. Yeah. Don't write like writing an essay. Write a straightforward subject, verb, object. Okay. The app display main menu. Uh, is there an app admin? Click. So it's subject, verb, object, subject, verb, object. Okay, it has to be firm and straightforward. Yeah, you don't have tell a story there. Just a straightforward. Don't put any assumption there. Just write things that is supposed to be. Yeah, the step that's supposed to be. Okay, and then for the exception down here. Okay, so this is something that people make mistake always, yeah. So exception 4 means that exception for step number 4, okay, it doesn't start with number 1. If it's not about number 1, it's about number 4, so write exception 4. So let's go to number 4 and see what kind of exception for the step. Booking payment, user and house detail appear on top of the screen. Okay, so the app will display the booking payment, user and house detail on the screen. Okay, so what happened if something wrong, yeah, about step 4? What can happen? Exception for step 4, no details appear on the screen. It doesn't work like what is they said inside the basic step. So if that things happen, is there any troubleshooting or any step that your user can do? Okay, so you can add in a step like 4.1. So if that happen, admin has to log out and log in back into the app, for example. Okay. Maybe you have other solution as well, so you can put the step there so that the user know these are the things that they should do. Okay. So other example is like the ATM machine, right? So when you try to withdraw money, yeah, sometimes they ask you whether you want a receipt or not, right? So what happened if the machine has run out of the paper to print the receipt? Okay, so in the basic step they didn't mention that. They always mean success, meaning that we don't expect that nothing bad happens, so everything is good. Okay, but there are exceptions, yeah, where sometimes the papers they run out of the paper. So let's say the step 5 for, so exception 5, yeah, exception step 5, paper run out, yeah, the machine run out of paper. Okay, the step is they will ask before step before they have to produce the receipt, they will ask the user whether they need the receipt or not. And also they will mention, if they cannot provide the receipt, they will say, before you can withdraw the money, they will mention, display earlier on the screen, they said that this machine is run out of receipt. So if you need receipt, you have to go to another machine, for example, I don't remember what they actually display on the screen. Okay, so meaning that they have notified the user before they actually withdraw the money. Okay, so there is also some kind of exception as well. Exception mean that we have to expect something bad might happen, and we provide solution right away. Okay, we have already think about it. So whenever the receipt is out, then we can tell the user earlier. Because why? Because some user, they need the receipt. So if what happened, if they already withdraw the money, it already success, and then suddenly, oh no, the receipt doesn't come out because of the papers out. So marah lah kan. So they will be very dissatisfied kan. So that this exception is actually used so that you can help reduce how the unsatisfaction feeling, yeah, with your among your user. So that's why you have this exception, and we don't have to provide exception for all steps. Yeah, we don't have to provide for all steps. It's just for those major things, yeah, that is supposed to be there, but it's not there. Then if it's not there, then your stakeholders or your app users will be very, very upset. Okay, so be careful. So make sure that you write the right exception. Yeah. Okay, for post condition, okay, post dengan pre. Post and pre, it's somewhere that people always make mistake as well. So for precondition, yeah, usually people will write basic step, they start from login, because they think that whenever people want to use the function, they will start with, when you imagine that you're using the app, you always start from login. Okay, login, and then only you get to that function, which is not right. Okay, login is another use case. So whenever you want to say that before you can use this function, you have to log in, you write that inside the precondition. Don't write it inside basic step. Okay, because login is not part of confirm house reservation. It's just that another use case that is required before people can get into the app and can use any of the functions, right? So precondition, write the login condition inside there. Okay, so before they can use the function, they have to log in first. So you just write that. Don't write it inside basic step. Okay, this is a warning because many people do that. Okay, and then another precondition that you can consider is if you have any other things that you have to do, the user have to do before they can get to the confirm house reservation, like they have to go to the main screen or to the sub menus, for example. Then you have to mention it inside the precondition as well. Yeah, you can mention that. Okay, for the post condition is something that can be evidence of that the user have completed this function. Okay, any evidence, like if you're using ATM machine, maybe you have the receipt, yeah, or maybe you can have email notified by the system, yeah, the user will receive in email, so there is an evidence that they have actually completed, or there are some pop-up saying that your application is successful, something like that. Okay, so that is post condition. All right. Okay. And for business validation rule, there is actually the constraint that you can take from the constraint table. Yeah, so you have to create the constraint tables first. Okay, now we are going to into examples. Yeah, so we are looking at the Fat Cat Cafe again, and this is about how we can look for functions, yeah, that has been mentioned in the text, and we have to derive them out and create table, and only then we can draw the use case diagram. So this is the question example, and then these are actually the question. Draw an appropriate use case diagram, yeah, for this case study, yeah, the text, the passage on top. Okay, the question is simple. Draw a use case diagram, but the process is not that simple. yeah, because you have to do some analysis on the passage. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today, yeah, for your examples. Okay, so they are actually, I divide them into three phases. Yeah, this noun verb noun analysis, because it's a very long process. Yeah, so I divide them into three. We can go one by one, so hopefully you can understand the whole process. And it's not something that you have to do, it's just a guideline. But if you do it, then the possibility that you miss anything will be reduced. Yeah, the possibility will be less risky lah. Yeah, so try it out. Okay, the first phase. So in the first phase of this noun verb analysis, remember we are creating the functions, the use case diagram kan. So now we have to create a noun verb noun table. From the passage, we will derive good text that can provide us with some information about the function. So we are talking about noun verb noun here. Yeah, the person who do it, the verb, what he actually or she do, and then the things that they do. Yeah, the things that what are the things they do on something. Yeah. Okay, so in the phase one, to complete the noun verb noun table. So what we should do? So in this text, yeah, you will be looking for verb and noun. Verb and noun, yeah. Look for something that you can see clearly. Like for example here, you can underline them, you can highlight the text, yeah. We have here taking orders, manage changes of item on the menu, create and delete orders, adding and removing items from an order, close order. Okay. All right. We also have add menu item, delete menu item, update menu item. So I'm not sure where they get this passage, but most probably is something derived from the interviews or something, and they just make some summary from the interview. So that's why they get this passage. Yeah, you can do this right away on the transcription of your interview. Look for the verb and noun. Look for the possible function that you can have. You can produce for your app. Yeah. Okay, so there are others like waiters, take orders. Order should be stored in database, used by cashier to calculate total sales. Okay, so then down here, because we are looking for functions, right? So here it mentioned that it's about non-functional requirements, so we don't have to look at that at the time. Yeah, so we can leave that KIV. Okay, so when we are doing the non-functional, then we can take a look on the next paragraph, the last paragraph. Okay, so for time being, for the function, we'll be focusing on the first two paragraphs. Okay, the first thing that you have to do, step one, is to transfer sentence by sentence those part of the passage that we have choose, yeah, which is the paragraph 1 and 2. Take one sentence at a time, fill in one sentence in one row. Okay, so if you see here the sentence ID, yeah, this is the first sentence, second sentence, third sentence, S1, S2, S3. So there are 8 sentences that we consider right now. Okay, so it's all taken from here. The first and second paragraph, they are all actually 8 sentences. So here we have them in the table. Okay, so this is sentence table. Okay, from here we go to the step 2. So step 2 is to identify possible noun word noun in each sentences, in each sentence. Okay, so number 1, right, we have taking orders, manage change item of item, and then we have adding, delete, blah 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 blah. So we make sure that highlight all the verb and noun. Okay, don't remove anything, just highlight in this table. Okay, so the next step is now we are going to transfer all the noun verb noun from each of the sentence, yeah, into this table. So this is not sentence table. Now this is the noun verb analysis table. Okay, so how can we fill them in? Yeah, so we transfer the noun verb noun. As you can see here, S1, the first sentence, it has more than one row. Why? Because it mentioned that inside the sentence, they are taking orders, managing changes. Yeah, so it's all both coming from S1, the first sentence. And you can see each row is taking separate or different noun, verb noun, or noun, verb noun only. Okay, if you don't know who's been doing it, you don't assume anything, just put question mark here, yeah, because they didn't mention who did it, yeah, so just put question mark. So we have the verb and noun here, all right. And also do the same thing for the rest of the sentences. So we have S2. So S2 have lots of verb and noun in it. Yeah, if you can look at the original sentences. S2. Okay, create order, delete order, adding item from an order, removing item from an order, and close order. So that are the verb noun that they have inside this sentence alone, yeah, for S2. So dia banyak. So there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, got that? So do the same thing on the rest of the sentences. Okay, so phase 1 is completed. So you have to produce this table. That's it. But it hasn't complete yet, yeah? So we're going to phase 2. Okay, this is just the summary of what we have done just now. Okay, so phase 2, what is the objective in the phase 2? The objective now is to remove the redundancies. Any redundancy we have to remove, because if there are, let's say there are 10 functions, but there are 3 of them is actually the same thing. So we have to remove and leave just one, yeah, that represent the 3 functions, okay? But it has to be the same function, the same exact function. Otherwise, it's not considered as redundancies. Okay, so from the noun verb table just now that has been generated through the phase 1. Okay, so we have to find the possible redundancies, yeah? So where is the redundancies? Can you see redundancies? So what kind of redundancies? Redundancies either in the noun column here, sorry, the noun column here, if you see anything that is the same but question mark, we don't, just leave the question mark, yeah. This is not considered as redundancies. Okay, anything from the noun column, no, waiters just one, database one, cashier one, so it's no redundancies. Now we look at the verb noun. So verb noun has to come together, yeah. Don't go separately, don't go like orders can, but when we're talking about verb noun, you have to take verb and noun together. All right. Okay, this is redundancies for noun column, the last one, the object column. There's no redundancies for verb noun here, but there are others, actually, there are. Okay, so let's see. I use colors to simplify, so to help you to visualize the process, yeah? Okay, let's see the yellow color first. Taking orders, verb noun. Taking orders. Take orders. Sound similar? It's exactly the same, except that this one have ing and one without ing. Okay, so they are actually the same. So you have to remove one. And when you remove one of them, yeah, as you can see, which one is more complete column. So as you can see here, this one is more complete. Waiters take action compared to this one, they have question mark. So this is considered as 4 here, is considered more complete. So if you want to remove them later, remove this one. Yeah, remove this one. Don't remove this one. Remove one of them, but remove the one with less information, which is this one. This one they have waiter, so keep this one. Understand? Okay. All right. So now we look into, so verb noun done. Noun column here. The first one, no redundancies. Verb noun only taking orders. And now noun object column. There are few redundancies, which is order, orders, item from order item, and menu item in the database. Okay. So we have to remove one of them and make sure you pick the one with the most information. But I think, okay, not much information. They are similar. So you just can remove any of them. Okay, so this is where we just sort them first before we remove the redundancies. Yeah, so that you can see it clearly. The step 2 is just to sort them to be together. So you can choose, like for S1 and S4 here, You can say, okay, this one or this one, we say pick the one with more information down here. Okay, so for here, we cannot just remove, we can merge them together. Okay, order, merge them together so that there's only one word orders there. Okay, same goes with this one. Yeah, you can merge them both and also this one. That's how we omit the redundancies. Yeah, you don't just remove and delete the column or cell. Okay, so this is something happened after we remove the redundancies. Okay, all right, so we have waiter take orders, and then we have what left for the orders: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Creating, delete, closing, and database stores. We have managing changes, blah 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 blah. So the phase 2 redundancies has been removed. Okay, and if there is any redundancies after you remove them and see that there are other redundancies, then you have to remove them again. Okay, all right, these are the example. Okay, from here, from here. Okay, and we have another things that we can consider as redundancies. Okay, look again when you have finished the table right here, right? Once you have this table, once you have removed the redundancies, make sure you take a look again in the column, yeah, in the column noun there, whether there are redundancies, no. Okay, verb noun, no. And the noun object column, yes, there are redundancies for the orders. Okay, so from there we have to merge them into single cell like that. Okay, so phase 2 is complete. So it's up to you on how you are going to do it. So you have to be very careful because you might miss something important there. Yeah, some redundancy is not good. It might make your functions double. Yeah, because you might because they are the same thing, but you're not alert with that. So please be careful when doing this process. Yeah. Okay, so phase 2 is complete. So this is just the summary of what we do inside the phase 2. And now for the phase 3, the last phase, to simplify information so that it will become more meaningful. Okay, so we need to make some adjustment, yeah, so make some changes on the text, on how we use the name, yeah, we can make changes. So phase 3 is where you can make it to become more meaningful. So here is the thing that we have from the previous phase 2. Okay, so how can we make this more simplified? Yeah, so number one is, yeah, sorry. Okay. Waiters. The number one is identify noun first. So we want to provide a meaningful information. So here, this is the original one that we get from the phase 2. Yeah. So we want to complete all the question mark if we can. Okay. So let's see if we can use the clue that have been given in other columns. Like for waiters take orders. So who will be creating orders? Yeah, who is the possible person that create the order? If waiter takes orders, meaning that must be waiter that create the orders, right? Okay, and also who can delete orders? If he take the order, then he can also throw away the orders. Okay, so he can actually delete the orders. Okay, close orders, he is the one or she's the one who open the orders, then the same person can also close the order. So maybe it's actually all waiters. Yeah, the noun subject for that verb and noun is actually about the waiter. Yeah, it's about the waiter. All right. But how about menu item, adding menu item, deleting menu item, orders and menu item? Menu and order are different things. Order has their own order item. So let's say waiters take orders. When they create the orders, they will add order. So let's say that you are the one who come to their restaurant. So the waiter will ask you, what do you want to have? You said, I want to have fried rice, for example. So you will add, the waiter will add the order item. Okay, so every single thing that you ordered, yeah, inside that order, yeah. So order is just one. So if you are the one customer, there's only one order for one customer usually. Okay. So when they create the order, like you can imagine that they have a paper, kan? So they write your order on the paper. So there's only one paper. Yeah. So that one paper is considered as the order. And the order item is the things that they write inside the paper. Okay. So order item and order is very related. So we can say that waiter is actually the one that doing something with the order and do something with the order item. All right. And then when it comes to menu in a restaurant, yeah, who actually create the menu? Is it the waiter? Do you think it's the waiter create the menu? Or is there any someone else? Who do you think create the menu? Siapa yang create? Takkan waiter kan? Yeah, tak logic, right? So logically there's someone else other than the waiter that create the menu. Unless if the waiter is actually the owner of the restaurant and is the also the cook, yeah, or the chef, yeah, they are all the same person, then that's a different story. Okay, but in this case, usually in a restaurant, it's a big restaurant, so we have different menu there, yeah. So many waiters there. So there must be someone who actually manage the menu. Okay, but we don't know who, and we cannot assume. We can just put some question mark there and asking, is it the owner or is it the manager or someone? But you have to go back to your stakeholders and ask them who actually have power, yeah, to manage and control the menu and the menu item. Yeah, so menu is the whole thing. Yeah, if we have a piece of menu, apa kita panggil menu yang pamphlet, right? Yeah, so all the things that they write inside there, yeah, like fried rice, there are like drinks and there are many different drinks, so that are actually menu item. Yeah, laksa ke, nasi goreng, apa-apalah kan. Okay, so each of them is actually menu item. But the whole thing, when they become one collection of menu, then we call it menu. Okay, so menu is a collection of menu item. Just like order is actually a collection of order item. All right, so the same person is actually have power on that specific item, or if menu item, then menu. Okay, so in this case, it's not waiter, right? Okay, so that are the things that you can do. We can remove step 2. Ni dah settle. Okay, step 2, because we don't have any more information there. We don't know who actually edit or adding new menu item, delete menu item. We don't know. So just leave the question mark there. And we also don't know who managed the changes of item on the menu. Same thing, yeah. So we don't know. So just leave that and we go to the next step, which is step 2. So step 2, we remove less meaningful functions. So which of these are actually less meaningful? Yeah, not that everything that you have to include in your use cases. Yeah, the more use cases doesn't mean that you have more good quality. No. Okay, so actually the less is more. Yeah, but of course it has to be sufficient. Don't less and very less and it has less information. That's not right. Okay, less means you have a firm information, it's sufficient and it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't have something that is not needed. Okay, so here we have, right, which one is not meaningful enough, like for me, yeah, personally, waiters takes order.